Hello, everyone, and welcome to the most exciting session in Elevate Conference, streaming your workflows with monday.com's automations and integrations. I am Omri Klagsveld. I'm a senior customer success manager here at Monday. I've been with the CS team for about 2 years now, and one of the team's first dedicated customer success managers. My focus roles in the platform are dashboards and integrations, and in my free time, I give craft chocolate workshops and I DJ. And with me is the amazing Heather Niven.
Thanks, Omri. Hi, everyone. As Omri said, I am Heather Niven, and I am also a customer success manager here at monday.com, working within the mid-market team. In my role, I do act as a consultant to a wide variety of industry experts, helping them to more efficiently and effectively execute their workflows. Prior to joining monday.com, I did spend some time in other client-facing roles, and in my spare time, I do enjoy spending it in the kitchen, where I especially love trying new recipes that are easy to make, but even easier to eat. So for today, Omri and I will be taking you through how automations and integrations can better streamline the workflows built within monday.com. In order to do that, we'll first discuss some of the pain points we find in our customer success roles and how a work OS or work operating system is valuable in overcoming those pains. We'll then discuss 2 of the 7 building blocks a work OS offers, in this case, automations and integrations, providing an overview of what they are and how they work. We'll then explore putting some of these functionalities into practice, and then we'll have Trent Gilbert, an operations manager at ProCaf Cabinetry, discuss how he's been able to expedite orders and increase sales by implementing this new functionality into his process. Omri, I will pass it back over to you.
Amazing, thanks Heather. So before we jump into, well, why automations and integrations are important and the value of a work OS, let's talk for a second about what's going on in the workspace right now. So from our work with various teams across multiple industries and regardless of the team size, we found that there is a common scenario where on the one hand, we have informational and organizational silos, and on the other, it's coupled with application overload, and this leads to missed deadlines and deliverables. And let's dive a bit deeper into it. So the inconvenient truth is that silos, while they're great for agriculture, are not as good for working on projects and for managing things. So when we say information as silos, we mean that people hold information in their heads or just with their teammates or stored in their computer, but there's no way to share it across team members. And when you think about it, sharing that information across different teams becomes even harder, even more complicated. And if every team is using a wide variety of different applications that are not designed to talk to one another, we get disjointed processes and hindered visibility. The result, sad face, missed deadlines and deliverables, and reduced efficiency. And even if the project manager is able to orchestrate this flow of information and at the end get the information from where it starts to where it needs to be, he or she will spend a lot of time managing the process and focusing on just that rather than on the core operations of the team. What to do? Well, work OS to the rescue. A work OS is a work operating system, as Heather mentioned earlier, and it's a cloud-based platform where teams build custom workflows and apps, and it allows them to plan, run, and track processes, projects, and everyday work. Over here to the right of the screen, you'll see the 7 different features or elements of a work OS. You can read through them, but we are going to focus on 2, integrations and automations. And if we take monday.com as a work OS in our building blocks, then, as I mentioned, we're going to focus on these guys. And to tell us a little bit more about it, I'll give it over to you, Heather.
Thanks, Omri. So let's go ahead and dive into what monday.com's automations and integrations are all about. So first, let's go ahead and discuss our automations. Maybe you found yourself thinking that it would be amazing to get notified whenever a task or project is delayed. Or maybe you would love to be able to mark something as complete and let another department know that they can start work without ever having to write an email. If you've ever fantasized of this type of dream world, you are in luck. Automations within our platform allow users to identify a specific event, like a status change or an upcoming due date, to then trigger a relevant action to take place. We do have about 100 or so automations within our platform that allow our users to be specific in addressing the manual steps within their workflows. Now, for those of you who haven't yet used our automations, you might be thinking you need to be proficient in programming in order to set these up. Fortunately, that's not the case. You don't need to have any working knowledge of coding to set these up, but will certainly feel like a developer once you do. So let's go ahead and take them for a quick spin just so we can see how easy it is to set them up. Within our platform and within a board, you may notice a small robot icon at the top of your screen. This is indicative of our automations. When we go ahead and click into that within the board, we will be brought to the Automation Center, where again, you will see those 100 or so automations broken out by category. If we take a look at one of our basic ones here, when date arrives, notify someone. As you can see, each option here is identified with an underlined portion so that you can go ahead and set your criteria. In terms of when, I can choose to be notified on the day, or in this case, maybe 2 days before. In terms of date, in this case, I would be referencing the date column within my board, in this case, the publish date. Under notify, I can then indicate my specific messaging using the supported fields to pre-populate my message. Once I go ahead and indicate who I want to notify, I click add to board and I am good to go. Now, I also want to highlight a few of the ways in which we've enhanced the automation functionality. As I previously mentioned, we have about 100 or so automations that can be set up within the platform. Most of this recent spike in supported recipes thanks to our custom recipe builder. We currently support 14 or so building blocks for our users to leverage in order to build out more custom combinations that can be better tailored to their specific workflow needs. This is something that's now available to all users, along with the ability to set conditional logic like and phrases to create and support the complexities our users need. Now, in tandem with this update, we've also recently released a new column type called a button column. Our button column is synced to an automation, in this case with the help of our custom recipe builder, so that users can power their workflow all from a single click. For example, maybe you need to request an update or send a notification to a form submitter. Whatever the case is, users can now generate that action all through one click from within the board. Now, one of the other new and exciting features that we've added to our automations is the support of sub-items. Just as a quick refresher, sub-items are also a relatively new feature to our Work OS and allow users to track low-level task details to, again, better support those more complex workflows. Within our Automation Center, you will now find a specific sub-item category along with sub-item support across existing and custom recipes. Just here on the right, you can see 2 examples of that new support here. Now let's go ahead and shift gears and take a look at our integration functionality, which, as Omri mentioned, is another building block within our Work OS. Maybe your team is using Slack to stay connected or Zendesk as a way to field customer questions. Whatever the case may be, our integrations will act as a central hub to help coordinate the interactions between the different applications that might be most important to our users' workflow. Our integrations do work similarly to our automations in that users can identify within the platform a specific event to then trigger a relevant action. Only in this case, that action is taking place through a third-party application. Now, I did mention Slack or Zendesk as 2 examples, but it is worth noting that we have 38 native integration options that allow users to break down silos and bridge the gap between those applications. Not to mention, with access to our API, we're opening the door to a wide variety of endless integration possibilities as well. Now let's go ahead and take another quick look at just how easy our integrations are to set up. Just to the left of our small robot icon within the board, we have a small plug icon, which in this case is indicative of our integrations. Once again, within the board, when we click into that icon, we will be brought to our integration center and those 38 native integration options that we referenced. For example's sake, let's take a look at Jira. As I click in, I'm prompted with the available recipes and then prompted to authenticate that integration. As soon as I do so, I will then go through the same process I had done with the automations by indicating the appropriate criteria. As soon as I click add to board, once again, I am good to go. Now, I also want to stress here that we've only referenced and taken a look at a small portion of the integrations we offer. You might be working in Salesforce, maybe your design or engineering team is working in Jira or Asana, maybe you're also leveraging Jotform or Typeform as a way to track inbound orders or requests. Whatever your use case and workflow, we do have endless possibilities to allow you to bring that data into the monday.com platform, manage the specifics of the process, and then send out the relevant information and updates to those other applications. Now, just as we had done for our automations, I do want to highlight some of what's new within our integration space. Most notably, we've recently released a two-way sync or bi-directional sync with Salesforce. And it is worth noting that many of our other 38 applications that we offer already are supporting or are in the process of working on a two-way sync, so that once again, our users can feel empowered to better capture their streamline front to back. Better capture and streamline their workflow front to back. Now, aside from integrations that we can use to send data or notifications to other applications, we also integrate with platforms in other ways. Our most recent is our new integration with Microsoft Teams, where users can source boards and collaborate all while within the MS Teams environment. Definitely would encourage you to check both of those out. So now that we've covered what automations and integrations are, how to set them up, and some of the new functionality, let's go ahead and really put them into practice. So just for some quick story time here, let's go ahead and imagine an amazing lunar advertising company named Monday. Omri and Heather happen to be two of the company's finest, working within the creative and design teams. On a daily basis, they might deal with tracking and prioritizing inbound creative requests. Maybe they're communicating with clients. They're ultimately producing marketing materials and ensuring that those are getting ready to launch by the go live dates. On a daily basis, they might also deal with about 5 or so applications in order to get all of these steps done. Now, what Omri is going to show us is how, with the help of monday.com's automations and integrations, Monday is able to better source information from other departments or external parties, as well as how the monday.com's automations and integrations can better facilitate communicating not just directly with clients, but also communicating with the larger organization. Omri, the stage is yours.
All right, thank you so much, Heather. And let's jump into Monday's instance. And now let's talk for a second about the boards that we have here. We have one board to create our incoming requests and 2 boards, low-level boards, for the team to work on these requests. In this high-level board, we have 3 integrations already set up. We have a Typeform integration, a Slack integration, and a Gmail integration. And let me walk you through the flow and highlight some of the automations that we use to make this process streamlined and easy. First, the user or a client fills out a Typeform form. As soon as the form is submitted, it comes into the board, and I, as a person reviewing this workflow, will be notified using our notify when a new item is created automation. Then I will assign some things here. I would review, and you can also see that when the line was created, it created this waiting for review tab. As soon as I change the label to approved, a few things will happen. One, the actual item will move to a different section of the board using our move to group automation. And this allows us to really create a very organized structure. So we don't need to spend time moving items or thinking about what structure should we use. Once you set it up, it's good to go. Additionally, because we're collecting the client's information in the form, we can send the client an email saying that the request has been approved using our Gmail integration. But not only that, a few other things are happening. One, as soon as we change this to approved, the next stage changes to ready to start. And this also notifies the design team that they have to work on the project, drop it like it's Pluto. And it also creates a new request, a new thing for them to work on their board. And because the content is linked, then as soon as they will change this task to done, it will automatically change on our high-level board, on the board for the intake creative requests. And now the copy team is notified and the process continues. As soon as they will finish their work, it's time for the director's approval. The director will be notified, and as soon as he or she approves the project, now it is ready to launch. And we are notifying the client that the product is good to go and we're waiting for the go live date. Then we use an automation that if this is ready to go and we are getting to go live, then change to the go live date, then change the status here to live. And because we as a company, we love Monday, we love to know everything about all our campaigns, this triggers a Slack message in our channel saying that our newest work, Drop It Like It's Pluto, is live. So here we've seen how throughout the process of using integrations and automations, we're able to streamline the workflow, make it more organized, collect information from outside parties, and make sure that the team is staying on top of the project and we're avoiding bottlenecks all the time while notifying the client and not having to leave Monday even once. And with that, I'll hand it over back to you, Heather.
Thanks, Omri. Amazing, amazing showcase there. As we saw, Monday was just a small look into how a process can be better streamlined with automations and integrations. But now let's go ahead and hear from someone who's really put it into their own day-to-day operations. We have Trent, who's an operations manager from ProCaf Cabinetry, here to tell us how he's been able to implement these functionalities in order to expedite orders and increase sales.
Hello, Heather and Omri. Thanks for having me. As I mentioned, my name is Marcus Trent Gilbert. I'm with ProCraft Cabinetry based out of our Atlanta location. We had originally started using some type of work OS for our delivery side. We tried multiple options, a couple of different avenues, and a former employee had actually told me about monday.com. So give it a shot. We set it up. Realized fairly quickly that it was much more than just something that we needed for delivery. It was something that we could use across the entirety of our company, from keying in our orders to managing our production floor and ensuring we hit our deadlines, to scheduling our deliveries, even reaching out to our customers without having to spend the time to reach out one at a time. We could do things in a mass email and still keep it personalized, letting their salesperson or their customer service representative still have it geared towards that individual, instead of it just being generic. That's the beautiful thing about the integration side of it is all the different things that you can connect to. Currently, our big thing is, just connecting it to our Gmails, setting it up and having an email blast, letting customers know that we're here for them. Do we have anything coming up, any type of sales specials, anything like that? And then them being able to, when they respond to that email, it goes directly to their customer service rep or to their salesperson, instead of a generic inbox, so they can still have that communication with their salesperson. Another beautiful thing about our integration is kind of what Heather had showed and Amiri had showed previously, was putting that email in on a actual board such as this right here. So whenever we key in all the information that we needed here, it's going to send them an email letting them know that we were processing that order. And you can take it a step further and go through and have every status that you set up throughout here, letting them know, hey, this is where your order's at, this is what's going on. Due to that, with automations, once something's keyed in, we can have it establish deadlines based off of whatever status that they had entered into the system. You can have automations stacked on top of automations, to hit certain things and do certain things. One of my new favorite things to do is create my own automations with the custom recipe for if these certain items do all this, this column does this, this status is this, and this status is this, then it does this. All of it's, truly amazing. One of the nice things about it is that we don't miss deadlines having this. Before, we had the old system where we would take the order, we would print the order out, it would get sent out to the floor, and the production team would pull the paper and they would process it through. So it was always paper copies. Bad part about it is if somebody lost the copy, we was having to scramble to figure out where we were at with that order. With this, we don't have to. It's all we can download the files right here, and it copies over, and it shows all the items we need, and we can watch it through the process. We can know where we're at with it. Every time something changes, it's going to notify particular team members. It's going to tell them what we have going on, what has hit the floor, when is it due. Prior to the deadline hitting, if certain statuses aren't certain things, we've set up automations to where it tells our team, hey, you are in jeopardy of missing your deadline. This is where it's at. This is what you need to do. So it puts eyes on it. So all of our managers, they know what's going on in their departments. I'm big on I don't leave work even when I'm not at work. So being able to see what's going on from home, if I had to take a day off, I can watch, from my phone or from my laptop, and I know what's going on at my facility even when I'm not there. If we have high priority orders, I can look and see where we're at with things. We process a lot of stuff we process through outside of our ERP system. If there was a warranty issue or manufacturer issue, something like that, when the customer sends it in, we have a whole separate board that we're able to process those things through. Monday is able to establish a unique ID number with that, so we can use the original order number plus the unique ID number. So if we have to search those items later on, we can have both items up to ensure that everything's meeting what it was on the original order versus what the claim or replacement parts were. When it sends out the email, it's able to attach the pictures and send the links to the pictures for the customers to see pictures when we send them out. So when an order is ready, when it leaves production and goes to shipping, the customer gets an email saying that this order is just went into shipping. If you're doing a customer pickup, it'll be ready for pickup. If it's shipping out LTL, it's going to tell them shipping LTL. And as we set certain things into there, such as our bill of ladings and our tracking information and all of that, it sends it out to the customer and it lets them know, hey, this is your tracking information. Here it is, and you're able to really connect with your customer on a much stronger level than we had in the past. It just really opens up the line of communications from the entirety of our team to our customer base. So it's helped us tremendously. I know when we established our CRM, where we were able to reach out to our customers at a much broader level, one of the things we had noticed within the first month was we saw an increase in our sales by about 15%. And then the second month was roughly another 15%. So in a 60-day period, our sales had increased by 30% just because of the CRM, using the integrations to reach out to our customers in that way. That was one of the nice things about it, was our customers were coming back to us, responding to these emails, and saying, yeah, hey, we have this going on. What can you do for us? So we were staying visible the entire time to the customer. In our industry, a lot of our customers are, they're working with multiple vendors on projects when it comes to kitchen and bath cabinetry. So one of the beautiful things about it is this really keeps us in the forefront of their mind. So as soon as they hear this, every week, every 2 weeks, they're getting something from us, so we're staying consistent on that side of it. And they're like, hey, we're going to go deal with ProCraft. So it's been a huge help for us, to a point that throughout the organization, we've started seeing our HR team has become extremely involved in setting things up and doing things from their side, from new hire onboarding to, employee procurement, things like that. That we're really starting to see a solid turnaround on a lot of things that were a struggle in the past as far as timeframes were concerned. We've eliminated what we call duplicate orders, as I mentioned earlier about our issue with the paper copies hitting the floor was that somebody would pick it up and then they couldn't find it on the floor, and so they would process that order again. You know, or guys would go pull all the product to go back into production. So it was a lot of wasted manpower. With this here, we don't have that issue. So all of my teams, they have tablets, and they're at the start of each group, so they know what orders they should be working on. They're looking at deadlines on that. You know, they sort their lists. It really, really keeps us extremely efficient out there. We have boards set up to work with our other locations, so we communicate with our other locations if we need to do stock transfers, or they have a customer that needs a product that they don't stock at their warehouse. They're able to send stuff to us through Monday, and it notifies our teams here that they need this product, and we're able to get it moved at a relatively quick rate. We have teams overseas that we're able to communicate with and plan with and look at where our statuses are on certain things we're getting from those locations. So all in all, it's been great. The automations are huge, you know, from, you know, certain triggers as far as these statuses are concerned, to move things from one board to the next, from one group to the next, and to notify the teams that need to be notified when things are coming up. Has really saved us a lot. It's been great because with that, we've been able to keep our costs down as far as employment's concerned. We don't have to have as many employees doing data entry, because this right here keeps track of a lot of it and moves it through and really is able to communicate with the groups. So yeah, hands down, this right here has been one of the best decisions that our company has made in the entire time that I know that I've been with the company. So I don't think that I could trade it for anything else. Again, if you haven't been using it, I recommend it. If you have questions, let us know.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Trent. So now let's go ahead and quickly recap. Here we are again with that simple equation, but hopefully this time it looks a lot less scary. As we have identified today, there is a variety of pain points that we come across in our day-to-day, such as informational and organizational silos, as well as application overload. But what we were also able to identify is how a work operating system can help us overcome some of those pain points. We explored a variety of capabilities that a Work OS offers and really honed in on one specific area, the building blocks of a Work OS, and in this case, the automations and integrations that make up those building blocks. Through the automations and integrations, we were able to see how we can better support the unique workflows and workflow needs of our users, as well as how monday.com as a Work OS can become a hub for all process interactions. Now, when we ultimately add these together, we are left with effective execution and better streamlined workflows front to back. So with the help of our automations and integrations, we invite you to sit back, relax, and let monday.com take it from here.